Today is the 28th day of the Omer. It's Tuesday, Parashat Emor, and 28 days, which is 4 weeks. We finished the 4th week here today, and it's under the heading of Malchut, shebanetzach. Malchut is kingship, sovereignty, nobility, dignity within Netzach, which is endurance. So today the aspect of the day has to do under the heading of nobility or dignity and sovereignty within endurance. And there are several aspects connected to this, but one of them is when there are challenges and you endure, it should be done with dignity and with some kind of nobility involved in there also. So that's the aspect of the day. The parasha of this week begins with a pasuk that is repetitious. Vayomer Hashem el Moshe emor el hakohanim bnei Aaron ve'amarta alehem lenefesh lo yitama be'amav. So Hashem spoke to Moshe, and so Vayomer Hashem spoke to Moshe, Emor laKohanim, tell the Kohanim, the sons of Aaron, ve'amarta alehem, and you shall tell them. So this seeming redundancy of words here, Emor ve'amarta, she explains, le'azir gedolim ala ktanim. This is to admonish, to warn, to tell, to emphasize, the Gedolim, the adults, the parents, the teachers, to teach the young ones. So important is the education of the next generation. Here it speaks specifically about the Kohanim, because the Kohanim had to be very careful with many subjects. At the beginning years has to do with Tum'ah, with ritual impurity, because they would go into Bet HaMikdash to do the service. They would eat terumah, they would eat certain portions of the sacrifices, that they had to be always in a state of ritual purity. And they have to be very careful and not to become impure. So here, the parasha tells us that we should tell the parents and the adults to warn the young children Kohanim also, that they should not bring any impurity into the home. But this is applicable not just to the Kohanim, to everyone, every member of the Jewish nation, that we have an obligation to teach our children, and to teach them well, and to teach them not just in theory but in practice, because children absorb a lot of what they see around them at home. Many values are absorbed by the children, not when the father or the mother tells them, here, I'm going to teach you something, but the parents lead by example. So of course, you have to teach them, you send them to a Jewish day schools to be able to learn Torah, to be able to become educated in Torah, but what you do at home has the greatest importance, and not just in terms of what you say should be done, but also how you act. And that's very important in the education of children. So this was the beginning of the parasha of this week. Today in Chok Israel, there's one halakha that I'd like to mention today. It has to do with prayer. There are 3 prayers in the day, Shachrit, Mincha, and Arvit. Men are obligated to pray all 3. Ladies have the obligation to pray once a day, even if it's not according to the text that is in the Sidurim, the prayer books. Just the fact that they raise their eyes to the heavens and pray to Hashem, praising Him, or having a request from Hashem, and then thanking Him. This is the components of the prayer, and even if it's not in the wording of the Sidur, but of course, they at least can pray from the Sidur, Shachrit, or Mincha, 1 prayer a day. Men are obligated to pray 3 times. What about if a person missed out one prayer? One of the men missed a prayer. So the halakha is, if he did it on purpose, he knew that it was time to pray, and he avoided prayer, then he cannot make up for it. It's a lost opportunity. But if it was done inadvertently, for example, the time came to pray Mincha, he happened to be in a meeting, he was in a building or in a room where there were no windows to the outside, he thought it was still daytime, he goes outside, it was winter time, let's say, and whoops, it's already dark at night. Missed out Mincha. Well, in such a case, he's given a chance to make up for that missed out Mincha. On Arvit, he will pray twice Amidah. The first one will be for the prayer of Arvit, and the second one is called Tashlumin. It's to make up for the prayer that he missed out, which was Mincha. And the same would be applicable for Shachrit. let's say he woke up very late because he went to sleep late and he was already beyond the time of Shachrit, and he missed out on Shachrit, then he can do 2 Amidas on Mincha. The first Amidah would be for Mincha, and the second one will be for Shachrit. So he can make up for 1 prayer, but not for 2. You cannot do 3 Amidot, 1 for the time and 1 for 2 that he missed out. Only for 1 you're given a chance, and only if it was done inadvertently or in a time of compelling reasons. He was involved in some activity and the time passed without him realizing, or because he was not able to stop and do the prayer, then he can do the next one, 2 Amidot. So this was from the Chok L'Yisrael, the Halacha Psuka of today. Baruch Adonai Le'olam, Amen ve'amen.